What's going on, everybody? My name is C4. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're here for a brand new Madden 26 realistic rebuild of the Green Bay Packers. Unfortunately, with my Philadelphia Eagles, our seasons are now over at the same time. We're at that point in time in the rebuild, so I'm going to just start rebuilding the teams that are getting eliminated by the playoffs. So that means we got Jacksonville and the LA Chargers as the other two teams. Let me know in the comments right now, out of those two, which one you want to see first. But we're rebuilding all 32 teams here with realistic classes, where we go in with real college football players and try and find a winning combination. Now, I am going to have to do a big draft class overhaul, if you will, in a couple days. I believe the deadline to declare / like transfer portal, I think it's this week, end of this week at some point. So I'm going to have to refresh the 2026 and 2027 draft classes that I've been using. Shout out Sports Gaming Rosters. That is the draft class that I've 95% been using. He released updated classes, but the last I heard, there was a pretty bad glitch in one of those classes. Classic Madden. So I kind of want to just update these old ones that I think are going to avoid kind of I think it's a visual bug where players will look like this, but then when you go in and actually look at them in game, they all look exactly the same. Don't want that. So with the Green Bay Packers, this season crashes and burns. Now I'm going to do a little bit of an assumption here and assume that Matt LaFleur is going to be back. I suppose, he's at a spot where his contract is up. It'd be like a Mike McCarthy Dallas Cowboys situation where if he leaves, it'd be like, well, his contract is up, he went somewhere else. If he leaves, I'm going to be so upset that my Philadelphia Eagles wouldn't fire Nick Sirianni and bring in Matt LaFleur. If Matt LaFleur leaves the Green Bay Packers, and I know right now vibes aren't strong if you're a Packer fan. You're probably kind of sick of the same old, right? Kind of sick of some of his decision-making. But let it be known that if Matt LaFleur added his name to the head coaching candidate list, he would easily be number one. It wouldn't even be remotely close. So be happy that you have a head coach that actually does something, even if he doesn't do it at a Super Bowl winning rate right now. You have a head coach that can call plays, that can call the hell out of plays, that can scheme up a hell of a scheme. And as someone that doesn't, as someone who's a fan of a team whose head coach does nothing, be happy with what you've got. Well, the Green Bay Packers season crashing and burning. This is the offense that we are inheriting. This is a team that the added challenge of rebuilding the Packers. Salary cap's not in a great spot. Green Bay, when you are rebuilding other teams, some of the top players that are consistently available in free agency are Packers. The amount of times that you will see a Zach Tom, an Elton Jenkins, a Rasheed Walker, a Tucker Kraft, some of these wide receivers that have dev traits hit free agency is very, very common. Defensively, Rashan Gary hits free agency a lot. Lucas Van Ness hits free agency a lot. Xavier McKinney, Quay Walker. These guys are consistently hitting free agency, which I'm going to go into the assumption that means the salary cap situation here is pretty brutal. So we're going to have to figure out that. We're going to have to navigate that, because when you without having to go into something super in-depth breakdown, this looks like a plug-and-play team to go and immediately start competing for titles. Defensively, you add in Micah Parsons to be that absolute game changer. You definitely could use a couple more corners. I think corner would definitely be a position of need. Nixon is solid, but limited ceiling. Valentine is solid, limited ceiling. I don't know if either one of these guys may pop a dev trait once we get to the end of the season here, but you don't want a lot of normal devs. You want to try to get some more game changers. I think D tackle would be another room that there could be a little TLC needing to go on here for Green Bay. Offensively, there's probably going to be some free agents that we're going to have to replace. I know Elton Jenkins is one of those players that does retire sooner than later in franchise mode. Did Tucker Kraft get paid? I can't recall. Because if he didn't, there's an argument to be made. No, he did not. There's an argument to be made that he might be a top 3 tight end in the NFL after this season. Very brutal injury for him going down. Offensively, in the skill position spot, obviously not the perfect season for Matthew Golden, but at least from a Madden standpoint, I'm very optimistic that he's going to be a big-time player for us. I'm a big fan of Jayden Reed as well. You have Josh Jacobs, who is at that point of like, 27, 28. Not the best age for a running back. Regression is probably going to be a motherfucker at some point, but I think we're going to try to ride those until the wheels fall off. And then the big question does come in with Jordan Love. Is he ever going to be good enough to win a Super Bowl? That is my personal IRL opinion of the Green Bay Packers, is that I'm not anti-Jordan Love. I thought when he was coming out of Utah State, I was like, man, that's a guy. That is absolutely, he was one of those things where, like, there were so many teams that made sense, and then he went when Aaron Rodgers was still in Green Bay, and we're all like, that's kind of weird, but I guess, coming out of Utah State, sitting for a little bit, it's not going to be the end of the world. We are going to have the quarterback regression glitch, which, just because it's my first rebuild with that glitch, we just reverse it. Whatever he loses, I'm going to give right back, so nothing happens. But we do need to talk about it because it still is not fixed. But in real life, I just don't know if Jordan Love is ever going to be that guy that can win you 3 games in a row in the playoffs. I don't know. He kind of reminds me, he's giving me Dak Prescott vibes, which is definitely not a compliment. But in the same regard, I'm optimistic, at least here in Madden, I think we can get a Super Bowl with him as their quarterback. Looking at the stats this season, obviously Jordan Love did miss some time, but 28 touchdowns, 9 picks, and I don't know if these stats are 100% in line with what he did IRL, because for some reason, the start today is still with 3 weeks remaining in the regular season, and I just made sure the records were in line. But, I mean, all these numbers are going to be within the ballpark of these players' seasons, and Jordan Love, he puts a 17-game season out there. Optimistic he will be a consistent 30-plus passing touchdown guy. Josh Jacobs should be a consistent 1,000-yard rusher. Receiving, no 1,000-yard receiver here for the Green Bay Packers. I would say the one thing I want to see from the sim going forward, obviously, is I'd like to be able to get Matthew Golden there a little bit, but I want to see Tucker Kraft. It felt like at point in time, Tucker Kraft was the wide receiver 1 here in Green Bay. Can this sim scheme have him be like a feature guy? I'm thinking like a Raiders playbook where like Brock Bowers is always wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2 in terms of production. I'd love to see that happen here. Defensively, got a bunch of tackles up and down the board there. Sacks, 12.5 from Micah Parsons, 7.5 from Rashan Gary. A terrific 1-2 punch on the pass rush. And I think we can get a little bit more out of Micah Parsons. I've seen him in sim from afar, just seeing what's going on with Green Bay, win Defensive Player of the Year somewhat consistently, which means, we're probably going to be able to get a little bit better production than that. From an INT standpoint, again, highlighted that corner may be a position that we want to try to improve sooner than later. I think those lack of INTs reflect that. So for some reason, the Tampa Bay Bucks, doing all the wins and losses, actually got in over the Panthers. Doesn't matter, right? So our playoff bracket is 100% accurate, just throwing it out there. For me personally, I am pulling first for the Houston Texans, second for the Buffalo Bills, thirdly, it's anybody but the Niners in the NFC. Sorry, Niner fans. I appreciate how you've got here with all the injuries, but fuck the 49ers. But according to Madden, this would be, definitely up there for the least appealing championship games for me. Patriots, Bills, Rams, 49ers, go Bills, Rams. Go Rams. So we had no award winners this year, just looking really quickly. We did have 2 Pro Bowlers. Evan Williams at free safety, and we have Isaiah McDuffie at Sam 2. Huh. Okay. Could be free dev traits. Wow. Patriots win the Super Bowl. Drake May, Super Bowl MVP. If the Patriots weren't the Patriots, like, I think everything about the Patriots is kind of awesome. I've been a Drake May stan, Drake May QB1 since he came out of North Carolina. Obviously, Vrabel is kind of like a universally, like, how can you not like Mike Vrabel and the way he runs that team? How they actually play is not terrible football. Patriots just need to suck for a little bit longer. You can't be good again this soon from the Patriots. There's still the stink of you guys won everything not that long ago all the time. There needs to be more of a down period. I'm not saying Drake May doesn't have to, has to be like 35 before he wins his first Super Bowl. But I think there needs to be a little bit longer time as a neutral for the Patriots until they're back on top again. That's the only reason why I'm kind of rooting against them there. That would be a terrible Super Bowl, though. I'm going to be honest. Wouldn't really want to watch that. And I'm not going to highlight this every time because, again, it's such an annoying bug. I'm just going to eliminate it. You're not even going to know it exists. But this actually is the first time I've seen a quarterback lose throw power on this glitch. So fucking dumb. All right, so for salary cap standpoint, almost $56 million is a decent starting point. looking at the players that we have to discuss here. I do think an interesting discussion for the Green Bay Packers. If we had comp picks, a lot of people seem pretty confident that Malik Willis is going to hit the market and get a bag. That'd be very nice. You know, we obviously don't have comp picks in Madden. I don't think we ever will. Shout out Moonlight Swami. I know he's pounding the table for that for years when he was working on the game. But I think there's a chance Malik Willis might get like a decent chunk, like maybe like Justin Field area code. Like someone just gives him like a 1-2 year deal, heavily incentivized, so the number looks big, but it's not actually that big. But it could be that big if Malik Willis has finally put it all together. Got two-way player there in Bo Melton, Sean Ryan, got Emmanuel Wilson. We got Van Ness. I think with Van Ness, we're going to decline the 5th-year option, and that experience is probably over with the Micah Parsons. I mean, maybe there's a scenario where, like, Rashan Gary wants a bag. I don't think that his contract's up next year, and we just go with Van Ness because he has a higher upside. Romeo Doubs can't keep all the wide receivers here, so he'll be the first one to kind of go, even though, really, and this is a pro and a con. Did feel like on any given week, any of the Packers wide receivers could be like 100-yard, 2-touchdown wide receiver 1. So Dobbs would definitely be one of the more interesting wide receivers to hit the market. We Rasheed Walker at left tackle. We have Belton, dev trade rookie. We got to save a little bit of money there. Quay Walker, we don't really have a Quay Walker replacement. So I'm thinking, you know, a 4-year, something like that. 4-year, $30 million. Keep him for the rest of his prime. Relatively, for a player that could hit high 80s. That's a pretty reasonable contract. I'm going to throw Dontavian Wicks up on the trade block, just seeing like what team's interested. I just want picks. And I'm thinking like the Pittsburgh Steelers are willing to offer a 73 dev trade on a rookie deal pass rusher. They're pretty interested. So the Steelers have 2 third-round picks. I'm taking the lower, or the higher, the worst of the 2 third-round picks for Dontavian Wicks, and I'm going to throw in a 5th-round pick to kind of bring the value up a little bit more reasonable. But for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Wicks, I think very easily comes in as wide receiver 2 next to DK Metcalf. It's a good get for them. For us, why we want to make some trades is we don't have a first-round pick. That is also another challenge of the Packers. Not great salary cap situation, and no first-round pick for these 2 years. So the amount of picks that we can acquire, ideally in that 2-3 range right now, is going to help our team out. And the same thing, unfortunately, has to go with Christian Watson. He has 1 year left on his deal. He was probably the best Packers skill position player final month plus of the season. So his value is kind of high. But when I look at our wide receiver core, Golden, Reed, and then we have Savion Williams, rookie contract, dev trade, high ceiling. If we can get him on the field, does give us a little bit of the height, weight, speed of Christian Watson. So I'm thinking this is another move that makes some sense in terms of acquiring picks. I'm looking at the teams that are interested. I don't know if the Browns would necessarily trade Mike Hall Jr., but we do need a D tackle. Birch can kind of play that hybrid defensive lineman. Rook or Hororo. Sure, Jordan Brooks got Jack Betch on a rookie deal. Could kind of flip one for another. I'm thinking, honestly, with this, I'm liking this offer from the Browns. 2 7ths, Mike Hall Jr. Doesn't really give us the draft capital that we want, but it does kind of move things around a little bit. Let's do it. We'll take that. So we went from like D tackle was a question mark to like Mike Hall. You know, there's still a ways that he needs to go, but 73 at 23 with, you know, Devontae White, who's on a 1-year deal, might be kind of expensive. He could be one of those D tackles that's probably looking for like $16-17 million a year. It's just not going to be fun to pay. You know, that gives us something. Kicks the can down the road a little bit at a different position, and I think that this could be our wide receiver core going forward. Reed, Golden, and Savion Williams. And now that we've kind of shifted off some of those wide receivers, that money can go towards keeping and retaining Jayden Reed, who I think is the best of the bunch. We also have the Dallas Cowboys offering a very talented linebacker here in DeMarvion Overshown for Lucas Van Ness. Van Ness, 5th-year option. I looked at it. Rashan Gary is a 2-year deal. So it's going to, like, Van Ness is just going to be an edge 3 till he walks in free agency. So Dallas actually had no salary cap. So the other team that was interested was the Bucs, and we're going to get the best pick possible. They're throwing in Jaquan McMillan. No thank you. We'll take a 5th this year and a 3rd next season. Then we kind of have to figure out what to do with our safeties. We got 3 safeties that are all interested. Obviously, Williams will be a starter, and I'm thinking we probably just keep Bullard as a nickel. All right? Like Keyshawn Nixon at 29. Like we can go Hobbs, Valentine on the outside, and keep Bullard in the nickel. I think that gets our best DBs on the field. So no more trades for us. There's a look at the squad. I mean, we did like nuke our depth a little bit, but we still have, like, I think Belton is the right call there to succeed at left tackle. I think this combination of wide receivers gives us the most upside going forward with the now funds, I think, to retain Jayden Reed. Defensively, we had Mike Hall at D tackle, which I think there's some upside there. Still going into the draft. I mean, our plan is to double up and have the Bullard there, the other safety play nickel, but I think outside corner, certainly a need. I think you could consider D tackle again if White's going to be 1 year left on his deal. Also, certainly a need, but really we're BPA going in the draft, and the fact that we don't have an immediate need makes it sting a little less that we don't have a first-round pick for the next 2 drafts. We do have a decent chunk of change here for free agency if we wanted to, but again, we're BPA. Is there a situation that makes sense for us to go out and improve the squad? We're seeing some of our own players be the best players at their available positions, and I'm not really seeing like that's a guy we have to get 100%. Secondary, we got Jaquan McMillan, Alante Taylor, the Cookie Monster, Kendrick. I mean, you can cash in maybe Nashawn Wright having a breakout with the Bears there with all the turnovers. But this does look like a pretty weak free agency class, so we will gladly sit on the sidelines and keep our money. Actually, that was a bold-faced lie. We just signed a long snapper to a 5-year deal. The final mock draft is live. We don't have a first-round pick. Let's just look at the names here very quickly and hope someone real good falls the second round. I think that's going to be the play for us. I think we have now, what, 2/3 this year? A second and 2/3. So, if there is a name that looked real good that falls to the second round, I think we need to use some of this draft capital to be aggressive and go get us a big name within like the first 5 picks of the second round. Shout out Rasheed Walker going to the Tennessee Titans. Also shout out Romeo Duff. Why? And now, like, we're going to see there's going to be a year that he's going to get put in, like, just the nickel, or in the slot, sorry, and have, like, lead the league in receiving. I guarantee we'll see that at some point. Fuck! All right, so we're here at the first pick of the second round. We have pick number 52. Is there somebody here? Can we get a first-round talent? And it's looking like we may have an option here. So, not really at running back. Carnell Tate still be on the board. So there's wide receivers. Now, I like our wide receiver room a lot. Those are probably my 2 favorite wide receivers in the class. So I'm definitely considering. Outside of that, any other kind of guy that we would have graded as a first round. I feel pretty good about our offensive line across the board. If David Bailey as a pass rusher, if he fell in the first round, that would be shocking. But for us, you got 2 more years of Rashan Gary. I don't really want to draft him. And then, you know what I'm saying? We don't have a lot of premier picks. I don't want to give something else up, like our limited picks, to make it even more limited for a guy that's got a red shirt for 2 years. Even if that's a smart move. Even if when it comes time that Rashan Gary, we're probably not going to re-sign him, we're like, oh shit, I wish I had David Bailey on the roster. I don't think that is a smart call right now. We do have Caleb Banks scouted here, D-tackle, first, second-round talent out of Florida. Go Gators. Linebacking core, we feel pretty decent about. Corner room, Jeremy, we got Matt. Again, no real, that's the corner I want to go get. There's no real safety that I want to get. So, like, I'm thinking, yeah, the only 2 options here would be Caleb Banks, which, there's a lot of depth there at defensive tackle. Like, I could probably get a D-tackle in the 3rd round, be it like a Lee Hunter or something like that we'd feel pretty good about, and that pains me to say as a Gator. So the question would be, I'm thinking we sim until one of these guys go and we get the opposite. You can almost even throw Denzel Bloss in the mix. All right, so Carnell Tate went at pick 35 to the Arizona Cardinals. Let's pick up the phone and call the Raiders and get my favorite wide receiver in the 2026 draft class, Makai Lemon. So I think we definitely overpaid, which is what I'm always trying to do anytime we make a trade. So, to move up a decent amount for a premier second-round pick, it's going to cost us our 4th this year. So, I keep our 2/3, and a third next year, which is another year where we have 2/3 as well. I'd rather kick the can down the road. And with that selection, what this does is if Savion Williams doesn't become a thing, right? Because, I mean, he's a gadget player, gives us a little bit of cover, but also Jayden Reed's in a contract year. Maybe Jayden Reed's not the guy. And instead of paying him big-time bucks, we could just go with 3 rookie contract wide receivers for this whole rebuild. With Savion Williams, Matthew Golden, and getting my favorite wide receiver in the draft class in college football. This guy's an absolute undersized psycho. This is what I think Brett Coleman used to describe. A perfect description. Number 15 in true value at 36. Good athlete, not an S-tier athlete, but an A-tier athlete. But this guy is just such a freaking good wide receiver. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to sim right because we have 2 third-round picks this year. Is there a guy that's a second-round pick that somehow fell to the 3rd round that could do us a little bit better than having 2 third-round picks? Be aggressive and get the best third-rounder versus sitting and waiting to the late 3rd round and just picking through the scraps. We got Xavier Harris, a defensive tackle here, a disciplined defensive tackle at 6'7", 320, B power, B tackle, B block shed, almost a sub 540. He looks kind of scary. I would say outside of that, I mean, you do got some good linebackers, but I feel decent about our linebacking room. You have Jermaine Matthews Jr. He's a scheme fit, but not crazy about it. Malik Muhammad, like kind of just solid, somewhat limited ceiling playmaker there. So I'm thinking that this is another situation here where we make a couple calls. So we're going to get decent enough value. I'm going to trade both my 3rd round picks here to get the first pick of the 3rd round. We also are able to get a future 4th rounder from the Titans, and that just gives us a little bit more draft resources to be aggressive and make some trades next season. But with that selection, we are going to go and grab a defensive tackle just because, again, Devontae Wyatt in a contract year this year. I think that's going to be a very gross looking. D-tackles and guards are probably the 2 players that just, I don't know if that's, I don't even know if it tracks in real life, like a like-for-like contract. So getting affordable D-tackles, especially ones that are built like this, feels pretty good. 113 in true value at 65, don't love that. But a very high ceiling here for the Ole Miss defensive tackle at, again, 6'7", 320 pounds, can rush the passer. Could be a special player. That's, and then we obviously got Mike Hall in that trade from the Browns. That could be our, that could be the future. So taking a look at our draft recap, not any, like pretty much every last pick here was depth. I got Jay Miller. I actually thought Jay Miller there might be a little bit more up. So almost a 70 rated running back though. Add some competition. We always need a good backup behind Josh Jacobs with Lloyd. I got depth here because Adelp we needed 3rd tight end. And then we just needed, I only had 1 Mike on the roster, only 1 left guard on the roster. So we got Burns and Elijah Fisher. But the first 2 picks are what I'm most proud of. No first rounders. And we're aggressive enough to get a 70 dev trait in Harris, who's going to be an understudy probably for year 1. Maybe we'll get on the field a little bit. And we get Makai Lemon, who knows, when all is said and done by the end of this rebuild, wouldn't be shocking if he is our wide receiver 1 here with the Packers. All right, so midway point through year number 2, the Packers are 7-2, man, and we are just dumping points on our opponents. 5 touchdown player of the week for Jordan Love. I think we might have a case. If he keeps his pace for the final 8 weeks, I think there's a legitimate shot Jordan Love could win MVP this season. Looking at our contracts, we have $65 million. Tucker Kraft, absolutely want to re-sign him. 5-year, 83. I mean, he might be, pound for pound, if you're looking and building around a future, for us, 3 to 4 year window, there's a chance when all is said and done, Tucker Kraft will be the highest rated tight end in the league. I like Jayden Reed as well on a 3-year deal. Keep him for the rest of his prime and gives us a lot of depth at wide receiver. McDuffie going up dev trade, interesting. I think that's a fairly reasonable deal. We'll take that. Solid player. Elton Jenkins. Like 7.5, 6.5. I think we're close. I think we can replace Devontae Wyatt. Carrington Valentine's solid, but not at $35 million. Sometimes corners are weird. Sometimes you get corners and a corner roll where the contract's unbelievably team friendly, and then you get other ones where it's like, oh look, a normal dev. I mean, his ceiling could be mid 80s, which is really damn good, and you hate to see that walk. But he's looking for what, $7-8 million a year? That's a little pricey, man, for like someone that is kind of replaceable, all things considered. But if we do let him walk, we also have Keshawn Nixon, which means we'd have to have really a whole overhaul of our secondary. But you know what? I like going into a draft, especially early, where we're like, we clearly need a specific player in position. So I think we re-sign Elton Jenkins, and we let everyone else walk. At the end of the season, we go 11-6. So we're proving on our inherited record from year one of 9-7-1. No ties. Very nice. We have the #1 scoring offense, second best passing offense, almost a top 10 rushing offense. Defense, a little bit middle of the mall. But we do end up winning the NFC North. And we have a juicy path towards a Super Bowl, starting our playoff journey at home against the New York Giants. But taking a look here, look at this. Let's go big picture. Jordan Love, second in passing yards. I'm going to assume 49 touchdowns is probably first. Josh Jacobs, the leading rusher from a yardage standpoint. Rookie Makai Lemon. Look at that stat line for rookie. Yeah, maybe not the huge catches that Jamar Chase and Puka have, but 1,300 yards, 16 touchdowns. That just screams offensive rookie of the year. And Edgerrin Cooper ends up leading the league in tackles. So production, box score stats off the charts. All that still doesn't really matter if we can't go on and win a Super Bowl. But man, oh man, Jordan Love might actually be MVP. I think he had Offensive Player of the Week. Did we have one here? Oh, shit. I feel like he got it like 5 times this year. Incredible season. Putting it all together. Again, I'm not a Jordan Love hater. I'm a Jordan Love doubter. Feel like he'll... I don't know. We're not gonna rant. I don't want to have an IRL rant about one of the best sim seasons we've had in a very long time in our rebuilds. Let's go, Jordan Love. What a beast. Josh Jacobs, solid, right? Now, he's probably the only guy on the offense, you know, excluding maybe like Elton Jenkins, some of the old heads on the offensive line. The only skill position player that I don't know if he's going to be able to make the full rebuild. Like, we're going to want to win sooner than later. We're going to get our best Josh Jacobs sooner than later. He's still playing at a very high level. We got our 2,000-yard receivers here. Rookie Makai Lemon knew it was special. Knew that this was going to be a home run pick. 99 catches, almost 1,400 yards, and 16 touchdowns. Matthew Golden goes over 1,000 yards with 11 touchdowns. Tucker Kraft, almost 900 yards with 8 touchdowns. We got 800 yards, 8 touchdowns for Jayden Reed. Even Savion Williams getting involved every now and again. This is a elite skill position group. And the meme has been the Green Bay Packers have had like 4 wide receiver 2s for the last couple of years. We now have 2 legit wide receiver 1s, a tight end 1, and Jayden Reed. Defensively, Edgerrin Cooper led the league in tackles, which you love to see. Look at the sacks. 1-2 punch of Micah Parsons and Rashan. Hell, even Quay Walker using that big-time athleticism from Georgia, getting after it. Devontae Wyatt, 6 sacks, 4 sacks for the rookie Xavier Harris. Didn't really get after it, Mike Hall, but I do think that will be a nice 1-2 punch for us in the interior of the defensive line next season. INT numbers aren't the best. I mean, not everything can be perfect. Probably the only thing we're a little disappointed with. But if your INT numbers are going to be, you know, kind of meh, you better be getting 18 and 16 sacks from your 2 highly paid edge rushers. We have Jordan Love winning the MVP award. Let's go, another Green Bay Packer joining Brett Favre, joining Aaron Rodgers multi-time. I don't know if Bart Starr or whoever the hell would have won MVP, but, you know, you think of MVP quarterbacks, the history of the Green Bay Packers, maybe the most attached to that award out of all the teams in the league, and Jordan Love has joined that list. We get Defensive Player of the Year and Defensive Lineman of the Year. Cleaning up goes to Micah Parsons. Makai Lemon runs away with Offensive Rookie of the Year. Jordan Love has now set the single-season record for passing touchdowns for a Packers quarterback. Makai Lemon now owns all of the rookie passing numbers records for a rookie season. Yards, touchdowns, and receptions. Well, it doesn't matter if we're going to crash and burn against the freaking New York Giants here in year 3. And I actually just, obviously I explained in the Giants rebuild, just did a Giants rebuild. I actually started this Packers rebuild before the Giants rebuild. Did the Giants rebuild because it does seem like they got themselves a brand new coach. We had some fun with that rebuild. But I know sure as shit, just rebuilding the New York Giants, they should not be good year 2. All right? So this needs to be with our freaking borderline super team. You can't, you know, at home, this has to be a dub, boys. Come on. Let's have Jordan Love show that he's the MVP. Get a walk-off touchdown when you need it. 28-21. Certainly not a sweat-free victory, but one where, man, I'm going to be honest. Maybe Green Bay's my favorite offense in Madden 26. My favorite scheme. Kudos Matt LaFleur for crafting I just feel like, in my opinion, if you told me C4, I'm starting to franchise mode, I can pick any offense. I want an offense that you can get good passing numbers, good rushing numbers. Green Bay's the first one that pops in my brain. And, well, they didn't really have crazy rushing numbers here in this game. But Makai Lemon, the rookie, continues to dominate, taking the league by storm. And then defensively, it's more the same. Micah Parsons, Rashan Gary, both combined as a tandem, destructive, unstoppable. In the divisional, we're getting the LA Rams, who just barely finished above 500, but we know that they can throw the football all over the place. Puka Nacua is a beast. They get a top 10 passing offense, pretty much a top 10 offense overall, a top 10 defense. They're good on both sides of the ball. Hopefully the tiebreaker in this pretty close matchup is home field advantage at the legendary Lambeau Field. Matt Stafford, obviously, with his time in Detroit. I don't even know if that's just last time. He could have retired, to be honest with you. But this is a California team coming to Lambeau in January. You like to think advantage good guys in this scenario. But, okay, we are kind of getting tooted on right now. Down 3. Oh, there we go. Big turnover. Punished with touchdown. I'll be honest with you. I'd love to get a Super Bowl here in year 2. Like a true opportunity to go dynasty, win multiple, 3, 4 Super Bowls. But we're kind of counting our chickens before they hatch because these are back-to-back wins. Yes, awesome. In the NFC Championship game, they have been close wins. These have not been belt to asses. This has not been sweat-free. Our elite S-tier Jordan Love passing offense, 50 touchdowns, hasn't really showed up in these 2 sim games. Because you think if it did, we'd be up by 2-3 scores, kicking our feet up, already counting the fact that we're going to... And they had Gardner Minshew, no! I think the fact that game was close and they had Gardner Minshew, that should be happening. The Rams did not prepare for life beyond Matt Stafford, and it shows. And they still almost took one of the best sim teams we've had to the limit. But look at that. Like 9 sacks, quick math, first thing in the morning. 2 picks for Edger and Cooper, and the Packers are in the championship. Ooh, this would be a banger. NFC Championship game, Super Bowl on the line, Packers-Lions at Lambeau Field. Top 10 offense coming to town. Detroit's kind of good at everything, but I think much like, this is a dome team. They live in the cold. It's a dome team. Jared Goff in the cold at Lambeau. Advantage Packers. This is a pretty good roll. I mean, the Giants and Rams are very common opponents that you see, but the fact that we're able to avoid, Philly, didn't have to run into the Eagles. That's good. Tampa can sometimes be a little bit weird. Seattle is another, like Detroit, Rams, Giants, not uncommon foes, but I feel like you could get a trickier run to try to get to a Super Bowl. And the fact that it's coming through Lambeau Field is a terrific opportunity to cash in, fellas, and get a year 2 Super Bowl check mark for this Packers rebuild. And we're going up to an early lead. Couple too many field goals there, but luckily our defense is showing up, and they're giving us a chance to go in the 4th quarter here with a lead. Huge touchdown there, but Detroit responds. Oh, see right here, settling for field goals. If we lose, that is going to be what could have cost us. And going into a Super Bowl, we made the Super Bowl. Yes, that's sick. But again, it has been 3 straight nail biters. 3 straight can we hold on to wins. And when you go into that, you never know what kind of chance you're going to have in the Super Bowl. I mean, can we get Jordan Love playing like an MVP? 56% completion percentage. Like, this is not a bad stat line whatsoever, but not really, reflective of an MVP. Makai Lemon was solid. Love seeing Jayden Reed. Anytime your 3rd receiving option can just pop off. Our pass rush with that. The rookie, Xavier Harris, give him the game ball for a D tackle. 10 tackles, a TFL, 2 sacks. Rashan Gary, sack and a half. Edger and Cooper, his 3rd pick in 2 games. Defense is hot. Offense is playing well enough that we're probably going to be Super Bowl favorites. How the hell are the Broncos rated higher than us? Getting the green advantage there. Denver with a top 5 offense. Number 1 rated defense. That is very low, averaging only 15 points. Pretty much 2 touchdowns a game. Huh? Don't usually see Denver being like super serious. Let me take a little look-see here. Okay, I mean, yeah, solid. Solid quarterback play. Good complementary run game. No 1,000-yard receivers. No, their offensive line is pretty good. Defensively, their defense is good. Their pass rush is solid. Zach Allen, Nick Bonito, Jonathan Cooper. Their secondary led by PS2. They got Riley Moss. I mean, solid. You know, very winnable Super Bowl. I'll leave it at that. Ooh, we got some upgrades here. Let's see. Edgerrin Cooper was on a normal dev, or no, sorry, star dev. We obviously we're going the long way here, having to invest into making him a run stopper scheme fit. But he has a dev trade increase up to a superstar wearing the green dot. We have Makai Lemon, star dev rookie, taking the league by storm. Again, another situation. Got to go the long way there to get him up his dev trade. He is also a superstar dev, and you know what? We're going to put the C on his chest right away. Then we have on the quarterback spot was a superstar, Mr. Jordan Love. Now a perfect scheme fit for this LaFleur offense. And after winning MVP at 27 years old, Jordan Love, look at all that. Beautiful. You know what? These rebuilds aren't like now that we're in the let's rebuild the teams as they lose from the playoffs. We are rebuilding playoff caliber teams. You know? There's going to be challenges, salary cap challenges, maybe a lot of times aging roster challenges a lot of times. But for the most part, these aren't going to be the most difficult rebuilds of tearing it down and having to refix everything. There's almost more of these rebuilds are therapeutic. If you are a fan of these teams whose seasons in real life have crashed and burned, whatever little disservice I could give to you guys is I'm going to rebuild and we're going to see what happens if you win a Super Bowl. So it'd be awesome to win it here in year 2. It's not surprising that we're competing for a Super Bowl in year 2. When I decided that we are going to rebuild the Green Bay Packers, I thought we should be competing for Super Bowls for 5 straight seasons, every year. But to win one potentially in year 2 would be sick. To lose it to the freaking Denver Broncos would be kind of gross, to be honest with you. I don't think I've ever seen the Broncos in a sim win a Super Bowl. I'd hate for it to be now, but we are down 10. We need our MVP quarterback. Oh! Oh, are we settling for field goals there? Game. Okay, let's see. This is going to be very difficult because we're on our 9. Can Jordan Love go 91 yards and get us? I mean, we just got to get in the field goal range. But can we get? Let's go. Let's see. It's going to be a defining. Tucker Kraft, 9 yards. Boom! Shot play to Matthew Golden. 26. Almost at midfield. We need one more big completion, which we might. I mean, we probably need another one. We got 2 timeouts. It's fine. Already. That's kind of like, fuck it, let's take a field goal. And then we had 2 timeouts. Two timeouts, right? Gotta love the sim, right? 2 timeouts, 30 seconds on the clock. 2 timeouts, we just say, let's go to overtime on the fucking 40. Oh, it's gross. It's disgusting. Oh, I hate it. Oh, you hate it. No, it's so stupid. Oh, you hate it. We got 4th and 1. They punt. Okay. Field goal wins it for us. That's why you win the coin toss. You want to go second. But we got a ways to go. We need a drive. 3rd and 2. Ooh, 1st and 10. 2nd and 4. Methodical run. Pass. The balance is perfect. No! No! What? Yes! I don't know. Fuck yes! What? 3rd and 22. After. Who got that? Right now, predictions. Who got that walk-off touchdown? Fuck, man. Wish I was slow simming that. Actually, it's one of those things I wish I wasn't, because if I would have saw those 2 back-to-back sacks, Swearwoods would have been had. But from year 2, an excellent matchup. Getting the not Kansas City, not Baltimore, not Cincinnati, not New England. We got the Baltimore, no Baltimore, no. Sometimes the Jets kind of figure it out a little bit. We got the Denver Broncos. And on 3rd and 22 in overtime, I'm saying Matthew Golden, just from how the rest of the game went. Jayden Reed, a 73-yard walk-off touchdown on 3rd and a mile. Overtime in the Super Bowl. That's going to be one of the most iconic plays in history. And I think it's very fair to say, with all the accolades that he has earned this season, Jordan Love has added Super Bowl MVP to that resume. Josh Jacobs had also a hell of a game, 158 yards and a touchdown. Golden, Reed, defensively, quiet by their standards, for sure. Shout out the rookie Xavier Harris having a day there. Didn't get much defensively. Couple PBUs across the board, but man, oh man, what an offensive just effort. What a fucking win. You know what the good news is? The good news, I think, with the year 2 Super Bowl is I think next time we're in the Super Bowl, we're going to play a little bit. There's no more got to worry about the comments saying, oh, you forced the Super Bowl. There's an asterisk. You actually hopped in and played. It wasn't the team that you built. Well, now that we actually have one cashed, next Super Bowl, I think we can hop on the sticks here a little bit. We get to see the full force of this Green Bay Packers offense. So let's check the offseason. Some contracts here. We're going to decline the option on Jordan Morgan. I wonder if we can get a pretty reasonable deal there on the guard. We'll consider it. But also, again, guards kind of like D tackles. Sometimes the deal's like, oh, that's not bad. And other times they're looking for like 12, between 11 and 13 a year. And you go, whoa, okay, I'll just draft your replacement. But we are losing 2 starting corners. So that is going to be huge for us. Either find a bargain in free agency, which is unlikely, or be aggressive in trying to find one in the draft. D tackle, Devontae White kind of got phased out. Xavier Harris and Mike Hall should be good at D tackle, but hopefully we're gonna let's get a good corner roll. I'll give credit where credit's done. General manager for the Packers. I've been trying since we've started our salary cap's not bad. It's also not great. There's not really any bad contracts on this team, to be honest with you. Like everything here, I mean, maybe the kick, like that's probably it, and he's gone. Now, I would love to find a corner here because we don't have first-round picks again. This is the last year of the Micah Parsons trade fallout. So what do we have in free agency? Valentine's the best corner. We have Riley Moss. Riley Moss does seem like a Packers corner. I don't know what about him thinks like Wisconsin DB. That could be something. Like, we need 2 corners, and with not having a first-round pick this year, it'd be nice to just have someone reliable. Like, we can get a corner in the 2nd round, ideally, and if we could pair that with, like, a Deontay Banks, I mean, even Stevenson wouldn't be too bad. Either one of them are scheme fits. We'll go Banks just because he's a little bit better of an athlete there. Come on. Hey, here we go. Now, one of these days, we are going to be able to suck bad enough to get Leonard Moore, who is one of the best corners. Obviously, this is just throwing words out. Probably, I'd say top 10 corner prospect I've ever seen. Since I've been like, oh, I kind of play the fake scout guy on the internet. Leonard Moore is incredible. An incredible player. We don't suck enough for that. So we're going to be looking probably down here in like maybe D'Angelo Pond zone. Ashton Stamps could be decent. This is also, so I updated my classes, sports gaming rosters on YouTube. People say, what draft class? I use sports gaming rosters, and then I kind of went in, and I'll give them like 85% of the credit, and then I just kind of do little like C4 hipster. I'm a draft snob as well, so I kind of adjust the ratings a little bit, added a couple players here, added a couple players there. We just had the deadline for everybody outside of the Natty game, whether they're declaring or returning. We've had a lot of transfer portal. I have fully updated the draft classes for every rebuild that we're doing after this one. And or if you want a sneak preview, go watch the Giants rebuild. I use those classes, but like Cisse has actually declared for 2027. Just he's in the game. Doesn't really matter at this point what year they actually come out. But for us, looking for scheme fits, we'll take a look here at the 6'4" Kelly Jones out of Mississippi State. I think this is a scenario we just sim right away to the 2nd round and then be aggressive here because there's no way we're going to get a corner we'll be happy with if we stay at 64, but any of them fall out of the first round. So we got our scouting, and they're all gone. They are all gone. Brutal. Oh, no. Well. Shit. That's can we pivot? Can we find somebody we'll be happy with? Offensively, we are in a terrific spot. Defensively, I love our defensive line. I love our new D-tackle room. Linebacking core, feel real good about that. And we're just back into the corners here. DBs. I mean, it's not the end of the world. We can go Nate Hobbs and Deontay Banks, and then we have our safeties that can play nickel. You want to leave this draft with something, though. But when you need a DB and you're just looking at a bunch of C's, CDs, and F's, like my goddamn report card. Kamari Wilson from Memphis has B-man coverage. Former Florida Gator there. Oh... Day 3 pick at second round. Like, you hate that. Like, Cisse right now is getting... This is not an upgraded class. Right now, he's getting potential first-round grades. But I don't think... I think this is an out-of-date class. And he is... those first-round grades he's getting IRL are not reflected by this class. So, I mean, fuck. Trade? Like, we are in a terrible spot. Trade Ed's Green at tight ends, probably BPA. We do not need a tight end. Kenyatta Jackson. We got Bryce Young from Notre Dame. Good decent linebackers there. Yeah, I'm thinking, honestly, at this point, what kind of trade can we get, unfortunately? Can we get we can get a 2-year down the line second rounder from the Browns. No, thank you. Can I get a 2028 second? Okay. I can get a 3 and a 4 next year from the Titans. Don't hate that, but I'd hate to... I mean, it's the last pick of the second round. So it's pretty much a third-round pick. If we can get... I'm going to do that one just because I think the Colts are good. I think that second from the Colts has a chance of being the best one. And now that we're third, I mean, we'll just draft the only scheme-fit DB that's there. Kelly Jones from Mississippi State. 158 at 96. Don't love that. Pretty much going to be a depth guy. Will Helt looks pretty interesting. The Purdue transfer at Clemson. My thing would be, can we afford to re-sign Rashan Gary when his contract's going to come up before Parsons, obviously, and there's a chance we might want the pipeline. And the fact Helt scheme fit has a power move B tackle still on the board here in the 4th round. Interesting. 131 at 98. No depth trade or anything like that, but I think the base rating should be solid. And I'm going to continue to kick the can down the road here. We can get a 4 and a 6 next year from the Vikings. Thank you. So, take a look at our draft recap. We needed a punter. Got a 71 punter late. We got a very fast DB here at BYU. Evan Johnson, 96 speed. Get Drew Mestamaker, which I'll tell you right now. Next class, in the updated class, he's a lot better prospect. I believe he was the #1 transfer portal quarterback when I don't know, Mensa now entering from Duke. But Mestamaker was incredible at North Texas. I think he transferred to Oklahoma State. We just needed a backup quarterback. We went Boardingham, the former Gator, most athletic tight end. We wanted to add some tight end depth. I mean, all things considered, pretty not great haul by my standards. Helt 69 normal, Kelly Jones 68 normal. We got players at positions that we need to add bodies at, but without having a first-round pick, able to trade, navigate that second-round pick. Not a great offseason, not a great response after winning a Super Bowl to go win it again year 3, but we didn't really lose a whole lot. And, we're going to have a normal amount of picks going forward, so I'm optimistic there. All right, we're going to turn something that is kind of now anticlimactic because we have 3 years left of this rebuild, and we've already got our Super Bowl. We need to turn into something special. We need to now an opportunity to win the most Super Bowls we've ever won in a rebuild. We're not going to count our Raiders rebuild finale, right? We've 2 Super Bowls in one rebuild has kind of been like the ceiling of all of these realistic rebuilds we've done. We've done plenty of rebuilds where we've got no Super Bowls. We've had plenty of rebuilds where we got 1 Super Bowl. But when the goal is let's at any time we win a Super Bowl before year 5, can we somehow spin it into a dynasty, win multiple Super Bowls? I'm looking back through the history. We won a Super Bowl in year 2 of our OG Falcons rebuild, which we're going to be probably rebuilding the Falcons very soon after they just announced Kevin Stefanski is going to be their new head coach. Good job on that one. We got 2 Super Bowl wins with the Indianapolis Colts. We won that in year 2 and year 5. So there's kind of like the top rebuild that we've done so far. We won 2 Super Bowls with our Harbaugh New York Giants rebuild that we dropped just the other day. But that has been the season. We won 2 Super Bowls with the Giants, actually the first time. We've won 4 total Super Bowls with the Giants in our 2 giant rebuilds. We won 2 Super Bowls with our Baltimore Ravens rebuild. No rebuild has yielded 3. We have 3 seasons to win 2 to make this Green Bay Packers rebuild the best. And I think with the stat line, with how good Jordan Love is, with how good Makai Lemon has been, with how good Tucker Kraft has been, the offensive line looks very, maybe that could be the one thing that's like not really elite about this team, even though I think Belton at left tackle still has a pretty good ceiling to hit. We have on the defensive side of the ball, Gary and Micah Parsons are just like, yeah, we'll give you 30-plus sacks. Don't worry about it. Cooper's now a superstar dev, right? Maybe a little concerned about our secondary. We only have Hobbs and Banks on the outside. We get, Kelly from Mississippi State. He's not really to be relied upon. We're going to go with Bullard here as our nickel. Maybe a little concerned about our DBs, but overall, I think this team has more than enough potential, especially if Jordan Love plays like he did last year, to go back-to-back. All right, 5-2 at midseason. Pretty good. Maybe not as good as the Seahawks, but I'm happy. We're not going to pocket check other teams' win-loss. We are playing a first-place schedule, so, it's going to be a little more difficult. What's our salary cap at? Yikes. See ya. There's no way. We can't, he's not been, we have Bullard. Oh, shit. I mean, in this situation, I'd rather pay Bullard $13, $14, $15 million a year, and he is looking for, like $10 million more. Javon Bullard, very versatile. I want to reward him, man. He's played a lot of nickel for us. What else we got? Rashan Gary, Josh Jacobs. Oh, Jesus Christ, we need more money. We have a money issue. We've officially ran into that. Okay, let's see. Mike Hall, replaceable. Jordan Morgan, replaceable. This guy, Evan Williams, solid. Very solid. I think we can make him happy. There we go. Okay, so we're keeping 2 safeties. So at least it's not a position we have to go. Josh Jacobs, Rashan Gary, Edger, and Cooper. I feel like we got to pay Cooper. I feel like that's a tough one because he's played awesome. But I think realistic rebuild, when it comes time to pay Rashan Gary again, it's not going to happen because you have Micah Parsons already on mega money. So I think, we enjoy Gary while we have him here. But, I mean, he's at that point of regression now. 20, he's going to be 30. I wouldn't be shocked if he doesn't, regress down a point or two this offseason immediately. Now, it is only a 1-year deal. And we got Josh Jacobs, who we can technically throw an offer at. He's been pretty good. What's his rating going to be at 32, though? Let's wait and see. I'm very, let's see if he keeps that dev trade. Because I would hate to pay Josh Jacobs like that and put us in salary cap hell, and then as soon as we hit the offseason, it's like, oh, he's just a star dev now because he's 30. You know what I'm saying? So let's get some wait and sees. Maybe we can move some money around at the end of the year. I'm not going to rule it out. McKinney for sure is gone. This is interesting. We've unprompted trade offers. Literally, it was like an event on our weekly. Like, hey, people want Savion Williams. And taking a little look-see here, it's like they know we need pass rush help. Because Dallas Turner. Now, the question is, are these guys in contract years or not? I feel like his contract needs to be coming up because I don't want to make this trade and then immediately it's like you have to re-sign Dallas Turner this year because I have no money. But if I can make this trade and we have Dallas Turner and we have to figure that out next season, I'm gonna take that trade. So let's find out immediately if I made that trade and Dallas Turner is, I need to re-sign him right now. I'm going to be very upset because I have no fucking money. Hell yeah. Okay. Let's go. Very, very nice business there. So at the end of the season, we put up our best record to date. Remember last year, we were only 11-6, even though we went on to win the Super Bowl. This year, 13-4. Now, our offensive ratings, points are good. Defense, pretty much where it needs to be. Offensive yards, pass yards, rush yards, weirdly kind of middle of the mall. Wasn't really expecting that, but we do win a second straight NFC North title, 13-4. Somehow the Bucs get the 1 seed. They had a tiebreaker. Josh Jacobs third in rushing, which obviously with a contract extension up in the air, we don't love to see that, but we're happy he's playing well. Jordan Love, the yards, not crazy, but top 3 in touchdowns. We'll take that every day of the week. 38 touchdowns to 4 picks. He's still playing outstanding. 1,400 yards, 10 touchdowns there for Josh Jacobs. We got 1,200 yards, 12 touchdowns for Makai Lemon. Didn't get 2,000-yard receivers, though. Matthew Golden, very close. Jayden Reed was decent. Tucker Kraft's yards weren't too bad, but 9 touchdowns. We'll take that every single season. Defensively, Edgerrin Cooper, we gave him a brand new contract. He played well. Deonte Banks, our only free agency signing. I mean, no picks. And I don't think a lot of tackles is a great measuring stick for a corner. But, Micah Parsons, 15.5 sacks. Xavier Harris. Imagine a world where a 6'7", 320-pound nose tackle can get 15 sacks. 7.5 by Quay Walker. Dallas Turner, 6. I don't know how many of that was with us and what was with the Vikings where they made the trade. But Gary with 5.5. I think we kind of projected his regression pretty well when we pretty much made the call that we weren't going to pick up his contract. But, of course, Xavier McKinney in his final season is balling out. Shout out Evan Williams, who we did give a contract extension to, also getting 3 picks. No repeat MVP for Jordan Love. He finishes top 5. Well, I'm kind of surprised. We literally had all the award winners last year. Didn't get a single one this season. We just not worry about individual success. Focus on the team's success. We got another home playoff game against the 98-11 Falcons that have talent for sure. Didn't really play that well. Kind of the most middle of the ball team. Pretty much everything around 15, 16. Let's go defend this crown. Let's repeat. Beautiful day. No weather conditions. This could be Bijan Robinson versus Josh Jacobs if it comes down to it. Two of the premier running backs. 0-0. Wow. Love that we're able to score that touchdown going in half. Very low scoring. And this could be a race to 14. Atlanta scores, ties this one up. Everything to play for here in the fourth quarter. Atlanta, 2 straight scores. We equalize right away. We need a minute 7 for Jordan Love to defend our Super Bowl title. Come on. And we turn the ball over. Well, we're the Philadelphia Eagles this year. Win the Super Bowl, get bounced in the wild card round. And I'm glad we won our Super Bowl when we did in year 2, because you see the contracts, you see the situation. We're definitely going to be losing talent. It's going to be very difficult. Jordan Love, 58% completion percentage. That's certainly, if you're looking at what went wrong, that played a part in it. Neither team could establish a run. Defensively, shout out Dallas Turner. Going to be a new starter for us next season after that trade. Got 2 sacks. But outside of that, all the rest of the sacks were for Atlanta. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a pick. 6 sacks and a pick. The Falcons' defense showed up. Ours did not, unfortunately. I think this is one of those rare cases where the team we lose to, I'm happy they didn't win. So suck it, Falcons. So at the end of the season, what do we have here? Well, we cleared our lockers. Dev traits on the offense remain the same, which we will take that as a win. But we are about to be losing Jordan Morgan at right guard. So guard is going to be a big time, let's see. Running back, well, now that Josh Jacobs did not lose a dev trait, if we can make the money work, I wouldn't be against bringing back Josh Jacobs, because we know this is not going to be a rebuild that we have to plan for potentially coming back. We've already won our Super Bowl, so we can be a little more lenient with our reserves for spending all of our money. Defensively is where we're going to have some turnovers, but with Rashan Gary leaving, Dallas Turner's going to step up there. We're going to be losing Mike Hall. We're going to have to find a new defensive tackle. We gained a superstar dev there on McDuffie, which is, that's kind of cool. Bullard's going to step up for McKinney. We definitely need a nickel corner. So we're going to need a corner, a defensive tackle, a right guard, and potentially a running back, depending on how the contract negotiations go. $21 million. We're going to decline that fifth-year option on Matthew Golden. We're going to look at Josh Jacobs. Ooh, that's doable now. I can live with that if he wants to. There we go. The weight game. He didn't even regress too bad, to be honest with you. So yeah, now we just need a D tackle, a guard, and a DB. D tackle, guard, DB, and we are right back in it. Since our players are obviously the best players on the open market, Xavier McKinney goes to the Jets, as does Rashan Gary. Wow, copycats. The good news, if you need a DB, a lot of first-rounder ones. I just simply scouted the 3 scheme fit ones that could be available to us. We have Rashad Dixon from Purdue. Taking a little look here. All right, looks pretty good. We have Clifford from Wake Forest. Also looks pretty good. A-zone coverage, which you'd love to see. And if they're all gone, we have Nelson, who I'd also be very happy getting. Taking a look at the final mock draft here, just to make sure it's not one of those ones where like, oh, surely there's 15 corners in this class. One of them is going to be available for when we pick. Look, they're all getting picked. So we have Dixon getting picked at 14. Literally every fucking corner. Clifford at 19. Luckily, we're absolutely not getting Bob Stevens at 24. Mr. Nelson might need to come on down. But that is, it's just absolute bullshit. It's like, oh, what's your top need? Probably corner. Oh, okay. So before your pick at 24, there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 corners drafted. Sweet. That's just how it happens. Every now and again, you got to get a little bit of adversity. And hey, it's the last one. Still fine. A press, B zone, C man. Pretty slow. Don't love the speed, but we know and we feel pretty confident this guy's going to come in and be a starter. Number 20 in true value, pick 24. Let's go. 92 speed. That's more than enough. All right, let's just kind of map out the rest of this draft here at our second pick. Jake Ferguson at guard looks to be probably the guard we want. A pass block, B run block. I mean, the combine's not great, but we'll trust the letter grades on that one. So there's our guard that we need. We need defensive tackle. And I mean, this is one of those ones where, like, you know, no real scheme fits. We have Marlon Myers, nose tackle cheese, disciplined, 6'6", 360. They're in a 4.85. Let's not overthink it. That's probably the guy we want. Yep. Come on down. What a freak. What's the acceleration? Jesus Christ. I'm panicking. We're in the second round. There's nothing. Like, I was like, all right, can I find a corner that has, like, you know, B zone, A zone? This guy, nothing. So I was like, all right, what about safety? We've shown before. And look at this. Way down here, we have the right. It's like, all right, B man, that's fine. Daryl Coates, Arizona State, just chilling. A man. Arizona State. Disciplined player rarely gets flagged. Combine's fine. We're really just searching for best DB, and this guy, diamond in the rough, still available in the second round, number 9 in true value, had no desire to add a safety, but we'll take the best players if they fall to our lap. All right, we had 2 guys that look pretty decent, and Hodges at one of them, number 31. No dev trait, though, but first-round talent. That means let's go get this guy then, Jake Ferguson. Now, we have no scheme fits there, so there's always going to be a little bit of developmental curve, but 37 with a dev trait. Another one where it's just like, do we just take the guy that ran the only 4-3 running back? Josh Jacobs is regressing. Devon Shepard. This is purely just like, I don't know. This is the ultimate, like, I'm going for the fastest guy. Is the fastest guy happen to be the best guy? 33? Get a dev trait. Okay, let's make a mental note of this one. Anytime, I mean, we don't need any more running backs in our Yetis series where it's UDFA only. This was a UDFA player. You can't, there's certain tricks of the trade that don't affect running backs, or running backs are even more blind picks. But knowing that this type of running back does exist as UDFA, you know, I've found power backs that, you know, exist. Shout out Osborne, our RB2 and the Eddies. Did not know the fastest running backs could sometimes pull up UDFA grades. All right, that was a pretty A-tier draft. I mean, you know, down the stretch, they're just adding depth, guys, not really chasing BP or anything crazy. Look at that, though. Nice little Marco Spears, 70 rated corner out of North Carolina. But we get Shepard, 74 with a dev trade. We get Ferguson, 74 with a dev trade. We get Hodges, 74 normal. We'll go right away and make Ferguson a right guard. That is where we need him to play. Not a huge discrepancy there between scheme fit and not. I mean, the big thing is just if you get a guy that's agile and you're a power scheme, if you get a guy that's power and you're an agile scheme. When you get pass protector, you're kind of that middle ground. It's not the end of the world. We get this guy, purely luck. Like, I was like, oh shit, I have 2 second-round picks. Good to know. And then out of nowhere, it's like, oh shit, I kind of would love another corner swing here. No good corners existed, but we've been operating with Xavier, McKinney, and Bullard, 2 safeties that have both been playing a lot of minutes for our team. So we could always have excess safeties and find a way to get them on the field. And we're going to have to absolutely do that here with Daryl Coates. This guy, very special player. Shocked he fell in the second round. Marlon Myers, our freak of nature nose tackle, 75 dev trait. And then we get Kyle Nelson, who was really, yeah, I'm going to be honest, we're kind of picking these scraps. He was the last corner, really, that we wanted in the first round. Is a scheme fit, will be starting for us, day 1 starter. Do, just out of curiosity's sake, want to look at the other corners that went ahead of us. Like, did we miss anything that was insane? Dixon, 76. Clifford, 76. And we got a 75. So let's look at Clifford. Let's see the devs on Clifford and Dixon. Those were the 2 corners that I was kind of interested in. Whoop. And you are... Okay, that's fine. Oh, Mr. Dixon. Dixon was the best looking one out of all the corners. He's going to the Rams. Rams have been tricky. We've seen the Rams in the playoffs pretty much every year. And they got themselves a team that desperately needs corner help. Okay, we can live with that. Very quickly, we start year 4 because we've had a little bit of roster turnover here. We are going to go RB2 there, the nice little young buck. We have on the offensive line, Ferguson starting at right guard for... can't remember that guy's name. Jordan Morgan. We got Myers now, D-tackle 2. We're going to have to rely on him to play Coates. I'm actually going with Coates as the nickel. We're going to go back to having our safety play nickel. And we're going to have Nelson just work on his development. I think I'd be a little worried if I'm Deontay Banks. I think that Nelson guy's probably going to step up and eventually be an outside starter for us. But I think Coach right now gives us the best chance at that DB spot. I mean, 13-4 last year. We definitely took a little bit of a step back. We're not as good as we were a year ago, but our ceiling's higher. And I think, you know, this is probably 11-13 win team. Yet again, another chance to make the playoffs. It's year 4, so we could still win 3 Super Bowls for the first time in realistic rebuild Madden 26 history. It's still in the cards. We got to just figure it out. We need Jordan Love to play like MVP again. So I've been season 5-1. Just coming off our first L against the Eagles. No shame in that. Contracts. Oh, shit. Well, it's a lot. What? You want $600 million, sir? Yeah, I mean, fuck, we have, we gotta pay Jordan Love. That's, whew. Yeah, all right. We were able to get him signed. We have $1 million left of salary cap. So that means gotta have to win our second Super Bowl this year for sure, because there's no way I'm gonna be able to draft somebody that's gonna replace 87 Matthew Golden, 83 Nate Hobbs. We need a left tackle that could start. We need a center that can start. We need a guard. Oh, my God. You know, we might be... Okay, I can probably replace him. Center's not that important. I could probably replace him. Maybe I can get a corner. But, like, we're going to be massive regression at wide receiver. Even though we have bodies, right? We're going to just, you know, Reed needs to step up. And Makai Lemon needs to step up. But... You know, there's only so much you can do. All right, I'm going to be on. I probably should have showed that, record that for the video. I just upgraded some of our players here. Information. New tech was discovered. We go 14-3. Our best record of the rebuild. 1 win better than we were a year ago. We're the 1 seed, our 3rd straight NFC North championship. Our passing offense is back being good. But 15 rated rush offense. We're worried about the regression of Josh Jacobs. Our budget is very tight. If we didn't pay Josh Jacobs, we could probably pay somebody. And the running back that we drafted, only based off of his speed. There's no other tells to find good running backs, superstar to have. So, I mean, with all due respect to Josh Jacobs, in a perfect hindsight world, I would have not paid him because, I mean, this guy's just not going to see the field. And running backs don't have a lot of value if you just throw them up on the trade market. Yeah, we probably could have went with the young superstar running back and then put that money towards, we probably could have got Belton back at left tackle. That's not where it ends. We also, I mean, Ferguson was hit Ev. It's a star. It's not the end, that's fine. But on the defense side of the ball, Nelson hit Ev, star. But we hit, there was just something about this guy here. Coach, superstar Dev, started for us all year in the nickel out of Arizona State. And, we went out, that's one of those things, BPA sometimes helps you out. We went out chasing a guard, got a solid guard. We went out chasing a corner and literally had to pick through the bargain bin at the last, pretty much, first-round caliber corner. And then out of nowhere, we're just like, well, this safety looks real good. Let's draft him. Ends up being an absolute stud. Oh, this running back. Josh Jacobs getting old. Let's get the guy that's the fastest one. Compliment the power of Josh Jacobs. Oh, he's a superstar. So it's, you don't always have to chase down what you're looking for. Our team looks and feels pretty good, but it needs to be understood that we're about to lose a lot of players, and this is going to be our easiest season to win that second Super Bowl. Now, somehow, look at that. That is weird. Makai Lemon and Matthew Golden, 1 and 2. And it's, sometimes, I like the full disclosure. Sometimes, if I want to try my best to force 2,000-yard receivers, you can rotate. Like, I'll rotate who's playing in the slot. Like, as soon as one guy gets, 1,200 yards, if there's 3-4 weeks left, I'll sub in another guy to see. I think I actually did that year 1 for this rebuild. Did not do that. So we got 2 organic wide receivers, second and third place receiving leaders on this team just because. We couldn't get 2,000-yard receivers last year. I mean, that's probably just where the yardage shifted. There's about 500 yards less running the ball with Josh Jacobs, so that became 500 more passing yards. Not a great year by Tucker Kraft. He could honestly face a little bit of regression on that superstar Dev. Reed was solid. Golden, obviously, it's just one of those things in a contract year. I think that's what it is. I'd like to think, though, that if Golden does, well, he will. There's no way we can afford to re-sign him. That Reed, plenty of talent, can step in and, he can take this role right there. I think there's an opportunity there. And if that's the case, I'd like to see Tucker Kraft to kind of, it's like a chain reaction. I'd like to see Tucker Kraft eat into some of that Jayden Reed production. And we got our top dog. He's not going anywhere. Makai Lemon, what a stud, bringing him to the team out of USC. 1,300 yards, 17 touchdowns. Defensively, great season from Cooper and Quay Walker. 15 sacks, Micah Parsons. 11.5 from Xavier Harris. 8 from Dallas Turner. 6.5 from the rookie Marlon Myers. And on the INTs, Javon Bullard, great playmaker. 90 tackles, 4 picks, 4 PBUs. 69 INT yards. Nice. Ooh, no MVP for Jordan Love. Top 3 this time. Here we go. We love seeing that for a homegrown player. Makai Lemon gets both wide receiver of the year and offensive player of the year. And Jordan Love gets quarterback of the year. In the divisional round, after a nice little week of rest, we get the 10-7 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who have a good rushing offense, the number 3 defense in the league, against the number 4 defense in the league. However, our offense a lot more productive, and we're going to see what works. I mean, our defense is better and offense is better. We're at home. How are we going to lose this one? Let's go. Lambeau Field Atrium. That's what it's called? Is that the full name of Lambeau Field? Or they just love to publicize that they have an atrium. Here we go. I mean, hey, Tampa's giving us, they're throwing some haymakers out here early. Well, hopefully they're gassing. And we're going to be able to, in these championship rounds, to start pulling ahead here. 4-point lead. This is where we just... Jordan Love, we need to see all of that yardage, all of those touchdowns. Seal the deal. Well, it was our defense. Went ugly in a battle of 2 top 5 defenses. The much better offense slightly wins. A little bit of a sweat-free defensive performance. Offensively, can't say the same. 17 points, not great. 13 points given up by the defense. You're going to win a lot of games when that is what your defense does. Jordan Love was fine. Run game. You know, maybe generous to say complimentary. Thank you, Micah Parsons. Thank you, Javon Bullard, 5th pick of the year. And the team standing between us and our second Super Bowl appearance is the 12-5 LA Rams. Ooh, okay. A little bit more balance than what we saw in Tampa. Top 10 offense, top 5 defense. This one will be tricky. Who's their quarterback? I always want to just take a little peek-see. Rams tend to do weird things at quarterback. They got Sam Levitt, Arizona State. We had updated draft classes. He is now at LSU, but, you know, he can run that scheme. 31 touchdowns, 4 picks, not, 50 touchdown Matt Stafford level, but he doesn't turn the football over. Huge game. Huge game. And you got to view this matchup. We still have 3 Super Bowls on the table to make this Packers rebuild our most successful, realistic rebuild, become the pace car that every other rebuild from here on out is measured against. We don't win the Super Bowl this year. We can only equal and tie our best other rebuilds. So a chance, is this team going to rise to the occasion? Are they going to piss down their leg for a chance at 3 Super Bowls? Our defense is playing well. Our offense, again, just, you figure our offense with how good they are should be scoring 30 points. We get a chance here to go win this game. Defense has done their job, man. We're going to ride our defense. We kick a game-winning field goal. We got Tyler Loop. It's kind of become a kicking meme after that bad miss. Kind of ending the Ravens season IRL this year. But we got Loop, and he has kind of completely redeemed himself, kicking a huge field goal. We got to get more excited. This is the NFC Championship game. We have just made the Super Bowl on a walk-off field goal. Still very disappointed that our offense is spinning its tires here a little bit. Shout out Makai Lemon, 90 yards and a touchdown. But man, oh man, them boys on defense. That Dallas Turner trade. And they came to us. I didn't put Xavier Williams on the trade block. I didn't go into the trades and see from the trade finder. That was literally like hey, trade deadline week. We got a little news story in the main menu. People want Xavier Williams. They're coming to my door. And if you're coming to my door, any trade, I think, is up for grabs. And Dallas Turner has, obviously he didn't get double-digit sacks this year, but he's already, our wide receiver 4 at that time. And we're getting a guy that's a very capable starter that got a hat trick of sacks to help propel this team to a Super Bowl. What a freaking trade. And in the Super Bowl, we get the New England Patriots. Super Bowl, Tampa Bay Patriots have the number 7 offense, number 7 rush offense. A top 10 pass defense, but we have the number 1 rush defense. Top 5 defense, top 2 offense, and we are 2, but we can still say we're top 2. This is Drake May, Jordan Love. They got Gonzalez, 99 rated corner. Travion Henderson's a 99 rated running back. Great players. I think we're going to win. And because we've already won a Super Bowl, maybe we'll play a drive or 2 in this one, I'm thinking. We'll see, kind of where this game goes. All right, we're settling. Got to settle down in here. Okay, touchdown. Couple INTs, both sides of the field. Down 3. Here we go. Here's a nice little drive to come in. 3rd and 6 on the 34. Now, because we have a chance at realistic rebuild history, I don't want too much influence because I do want to try to win 3. But come on, man. Let's see what this Jordan Love MVP candidate's like. Oh, got him. Corner. It is golden. And it is great. Huge touchdown there. Makai Lemon. Looks like Gonzalez is going to be following him the whole game, so it might have to be everybody else that steps up. But we have Golden in his final year because I can't afford to keep him. And if that could end up being potentially, with how our defense can play, a game-winning touchdown, that would be huge. In the Packard-colored end zone. What a ball from Jordan Love. What a time to call a shot play. And just outside of Gonzalez, Matthew Golden very fast. Not a lot of fat. And there we go. 2 for 1. Huge momentum shift. Let's get another one here. Right? What are we doing? Belt to ass. 3 turnovers. We get this to maybe Kraft, maybe Makai Lemon. That's going to get red, but maybe not. Oh! Couple ankles. Got the X Factor build. Got the X Factor, man. He's an X Factor now. Let's go! Homegrown talent, Makai Lemon. And we have got our second Super Bowl with a chance at making history with our third. And you know what? Maybe this is now when you expect it, right? Because now we're at the point in time where unless we're rebuilding a team that got like a new coach, which shout out Atlanta. Atlanta just hired Kevin Stefanski, so that's already in my notebook of to do rebuilds. We're now rebuilding teams that are losing in the playoffs. So we're inheriting pretty good rosters. So if you're kind of using that as a measuring stick, we probably should be winning more Super Bowls because we're taking teams that don't need a whole lot of work. All that still being said, we've never won 3 Super Bowls in one rebuild. And we got a chance here to gear up. Year 5 could be very difficult because we're losing a lot of talent. We don't have money, salary cap, whatever. But we have a chance. And if Jordan Love and this defense can continue to play like this, we got a great chance. Absolutely. Don't even need to go through the stats. Super Bowl MVP for the second time in his career. Jordan Love, 4 touchdowns, played perfect. I mean, our defense did make a bunch of plays. I'm a little curious. Maybe this is not, look, $173 for Josh Jacobs. That performance alone kind of second-guessed ourselves because we drafted a superstar running back. That made re-signing him it just paid for itself right there. But look at the defense. Yeah, 4 picks, man. Shout out Kelly Jones getting a pick. That was a great way to find out Makai Lemon is now a superstar X Factor. Hopping in and seeing that in the Super Bowl. Congratulations, sir. I knew when we made that pick way back in year 1, that was the right call. Reshuffle the wide receiver room around. Go get an absolute psychopath from USC. And it worked out. As far as anything else, obviously Jordan Love, X Factor. Didn't lose any regression on Josh Jacobs. I thought that was always going to kind of be in the cards there potentially. Golden, of course, right? As soon as we leave him, he leads the league in receptions and superstar dev, and now he's going to be hitting free agency. But he leaves as a champion. Also, maybe there's a way we could franchise tag him. I don't know. But we got McDuffie and Cooper up to superstar X Factors. Bullard, superstar. This guy, coach, is just like, actually, you know what, buddy? I'm going to be a superstar X Factor. I don't know what he did to get that. Appreciate it. Also, Xavier Harris, D tackle, up to a superstar. Big wins up and down the board here to give us that much more ammunition to go into year 5 and get that 3rd Super Bowl. Okay, contracts. Let's go to one of those ones. I have no idea what the franchise tag number is going to be. Well, let's offer him something like this where it's like, okay, we're going to hit you with like a disrespectful. And then what is your franchise? I think we franchise tag him, and then we do this, and then we restructure. I think we can't let him walk. Homegrown talent, big name talent, right? I think I can get a guard, center. Probably not a tackle. We're good at corner, right? Because now that fucking safety can double up as a corner. We basically need a tackle. We gotta have to, if we can get a tackle in the first round, I think I can find a guard, center with the rest of our picks. We're $26 million in the red. Couple restructures, we should be fine. All right, well, actually, maybe one restructure will be fine. We'll restructure Jordan Love, and that got us halfway there. All right, I'm not gonna lie, I literally had to, I think, restructure everyone that I could. Williams, Bullard, Tucker Kraft, Edger, and Cooper, and we're gonna have to be paying our rookies on IOU contracts. But we are there. We're in the green. We can play year 5. And really, for our lineup, we had Hodges at guard. Now, it's not sexy because he's just a normal, but at 77, that's fine. We need a tackle. We need a center. We need again, coach can double up at nickel. That's it. Tackle, center, we'll be Gucci. So this is one of those drafts where the number 1 overall player is also a tackle. There's no chance we can get him. So I went for the next 3. And Mac White looks solid. That definitely could be a guy we want to trade up for. I think we're going to have to trade up for him. Didn't get, obviously, great reports here on Dawson or Villalobos. Nothing much at right tackle either. I mean, I could have scouted another top 10 guy we'd have no chance for. We also had this guy, Julian Holloman, who is a pass block. Bench press is horrific. So that kind of scares you a little bit. And as far, obviously, at centers, we'll figure that out. We could find, actually, I fucking only 4 centers draftable. That's only this guy. A pass block for a UDFA guy. There goes Sal Zamora. There you go. There's our center. So we have our center. We can wait there. We don't have a lot of money, so we don't want to have a lot of picks. Where are these tackles going? According to Mock Draft 5. So we have no chance at Tompkins. We would have had no chance trading up for Von Ward. We want the other guy. No, we don't want you. We want this guy. So we need to find a way, assuming this mock draft holds true, to trade up to 15. It's doable. All right, we could wait on that center, so I felt no shame at all giving our second, third, and then future second to move up in the first round with the Seattle Seahawks to leapfrog the Detroit Lions so that we could select this guy, Mac White out of Boston College. A pass block, B run block, 6'7". Crazy bench press, but you know what? We'll just go with the side. He has super long arms, so his bench press numbers would always be pretty bad. 47 in true value at pick 15. We can live with that. Day one starter. There's our new franchise left tackle. Now, to be honest, we got to send him all the way down to the fourth round. If Zamora at center gets picked, I probably could have traded future picks, and we would have been fine. But he is a UDFA caliber player by the league standards. Definitely not by our standards. We know how to find the diamonds in the rough, and we need. Oh, you need a new starting center? Well, how about this, Mister? We got some actually other ones. This guy here, Peralta's draftable. Gross. We also have this guy, Jared Kinchin. It does have a pass block. Probably not too bad, but this is the guy. Sal Zamora. Come on down. Almost as good as our first round. We get numbers 47, and then we get number 49 at 128. There we go. O-line is ready to go, and we are going to run it back and win our third Super Bowl. I freaking feel it in my plums. I'm sure that's a fine salary cap number to be at, huh? And they look not too shabby. Got a 71 wide receiver here in the 5th round out of Florida. Go Gators. But for the two players we needed, we need a starting center. We got a starting center. We needed a starting tackle. We got ourselves a starting tackle. I will say, just out of curiosity, when a tackle is the first overall player, how good? Oh, yeah, very good. 81. Deion Tompkins out of Clemson. Pretty good at everything. Great athlete as well. Probably superstar if I had to guess. Very much so. I also saw an 80 quarterback. Not too often, man, you see 80 quarterbacks. Curious. Ooh, crazy running back there. Oh, we got a safety. Oh, we got this guy, Austin Davidson. San Diego State. Okay. 5, and we're treating this like just same thing as a Super Bowl or bust because we need that third Super Bowl. And we're ready to run it back. We have a different left-hand side of the offensive line, but 2 rookies that are ready to contribute. Hodges is ready to start. Everybody else ready to run it back. Super Bowl winning offense, a lot of experience, a lot of pedigree. We got more abilities, more X factors on the defensive side of the ball. D-line's nasty. Secondary, I have no concerns. Maybe actually bump Coates up to the starter at free safety. We have Williams play the nickel. We got options. We got versatile DBs that can do it all. Let's go get that third Super Bowl and make some history. Alrighty, good start. We get the first round bye. Don't have to worry about, embarrassingly having the wet fart end to this rebuild. Even though, still, I think divisional or anything less than a Super Bowl appearance would be pretty bad. We go 14-3 for the second straight year. We get our 4th straight NFC North title. Look at the ratings as well. Micah Parsons, 19 sacks. Makai Lemon, 3rd in receiving. Jordan Love, 3rd in passing. Feeling pretty good. You want to know what's good? We're going to continue to gloat. We draft well. We draft very well. But it is special when you draft elite. Oh, we traded up for a tackle. Oh, he's a superstar, Dev. I know we didn't get the number 1 overall pick tackle, who was also a superstar, Dev, but we were able to be aggressive and trade up and get the second one. Very happy with that selection there at Boston College. Mr. Mac White. Sky is the limit there. Outside of that, defensively, Coach, that counts as just a home run. Absolute home run pick. Let's look at our stats real quick. Jordan Love, 3rd in yards, 2nd in touchdowns. Might have another MVP on his resume. 40 touchdowns to 5 picks. Josh Jacobs, solid as ever. Receiving, we get our 2,000-yard receivers. Very happy that we're able to restruct this whole roster to get Matthew Golden back on a franchise tag. Almost had 3,000-yard receivers. But Makai Lemon, always and forever, will be the great wide receiver one that the Packers need. A couple tackle machines there, over 100 tackles. 19.5 sacks, Micah Parsons. 7.5 Dallas Turner. 7 from Marlon Myers. INT numbers, shout out Deontay Banks, man. Taking a step back, moving down the depth chart, actually get him playing better football. 5 picks for him. I thought, honestly, he'd win MVP. Jordan Love, 4th. And we haven't won Coach of the Year with LaFleur. We've been the 1 seed back-to-back years. No, I mean, disrespectful. We do get Offensive Player of the Year and Wide Receiver of the Year for the second straight season to the USC product, Makai Lemon. And for the third time in 5 years, Jordan Love is Quarterback of the Year in the NFC. And as we always like to do in the final year of rebuilds, look at the player stats, what they've been able to accomplish in their careers, including the rebuild to this point. Jordan Love at 29,000 yards passing, 251 touchdowns, 54 picks. Definitely on, with two Super Bowl MVPs, Hall of Fame pace, Hall of Fame trajectory, probably already there. Running the ball, Josh Jacobs, 13,000 yards, 118 touchdowns. He's been so consistent in this rebuild. Very happy. I think in hindsight, there was a little bit of debate whether or not we should have re-signed him or not. That was definitely the correct call. Makai Lemon in 4 seasons, 5,300 yards, 62 touchdowns. Chasing down, I mean, who's there all the records right now in Green Bay? Would it be Devontae Adams? Is it like Greg Jennings or Donald Driver? He's coming. And I think he's on a trajectory to be the greatest wide receiver in Packers history. And also on a Hall of Fame pace. Jayden Reed was solid. Matthew Golden was solid. Tucker Kraft, inconsistent, but when he was solid, he was real solid. Defensively, we got Quay Walker at 800 tackles. Cooper's almost at 800 tackles. 133 sacks for Micah Parsons, splitting his time between Dallas and Green Bay. Xavier Harris ended up being a home run pick for us with 32 sacks, 45 TFLs. Kind of brought him in to be a nose tackle. Ended up becoming a very, very consistent pass rusher for us. We got 9 picks for Evan Williams. We got 8 for Banks. He got 5 of them with us, so we'll take that as a hit. Just great DB play throughout. We start off our playoff journey, a little divisional rivalry in the divisional round. We get the 9-8 Minnesota Vikings, who have a real good defense this season. But from an offensive standpoint, this game shouldn't be particularly close. Even with the name talent they haven't played up to their level. So let's see it, man. The best thing about this rebuild is we pretty much have played exclusively at Lambeau Field for all of our playoff runs. And I always think home field advantage gives you a little bit of that magic. But, man, Minnesota gets out hot. It's always tough, man. Third time playing a team in a season. They get a little tips and tricks on how to beat you. But knowing that J.J. McCarthy's their quarterback, we got to trust multi-time Super Bowl MVP Jordan Love to get this job done. And by that, I mean we're going to have to interject. And I will say, if we're going to cash in here, and it's not a foregone conclusion that this will be a positive result, we got to be hands off the rest of this run. This will be like our equivalent of like, oh, we're going to come in during the Super Bowl. Let's see what we can do. We're going to go to Makai Lemon. Breaks tackles! Gets the edge! Not a burner! But that is what you need. Now, so you might be worried that we might have... That might be too soon. Honestly. We got Shepard as a receiving back. That's kind of where I want to look with this one. And let's go right here. I think they're going to use their timeout so that we can chew this clock a little bit. Get this under a minute. Maybe Lemon? Ooh, okay. Risky, definitely risky. Don't want to be... Keep that mesh in the back pocket there. Ooh, Tucker Kraft. That's where we need to go. B. Can't we hold on? 1 point lead. Oh! That was very close. Let's go. Hey, we needed that every little bit to get... Again, I think it just comes down to having to beat a team 3 times in 1 year. It's always tricky business. But a win's a win. And our path to the Super Bowl here in year 5 is going through the NFC North. We get the Detroit Lions in the championship game, who actually have a very highly rated offense as well, with St. Brown, Gibbs, almost a top 5 passing off. Okay. Got to be hands off. Let's see our boys do it and get the job done at home here at Lambeau Field to get to another Super Bowl. This would sting extra if our path to our 3rd Super Bowl win in a rebuild in a 5-year period is ruined by a divisional rival. Detroit gets a touchdown to get a lead. We respond right away. That was the touchdown that we needed to kick ourselves in the ass and wake up here. 2 straight touchdowns, 14 straight points. Field goal for Detroit to end the first half. A couple field goals, but they're settling for field goals. We need to get touchdowns. 1 more touchdown here. 24 should be enough to win it. How about 27? Defense, shut shit down. And pretty much, that's what you need. It's very easy to be like, our offense is this juggernaut. Let's score points. 3 touchdowns there. Run game was not the best. Shout out Makai Lemon, 91 yards. But sometimes you need your defense just to say, you know what, it's over. I don't care how many 3-and-outs you're going to get in the second half. They aren't getting past midfield. And that is exactly what we got here. Sack and a half, Micah Parsons. Xavier Harris with the sack. Javon Bullard with an INT. And the Packers are back in the Super Bowl. Ooh, this could be a painful one if we literally not too far removed from the Bills just losing to the Denver Broncos. That's going to be another fun rebuild, I think. I'm looking for, I got that, if I'm looking at the next rebuilds I want to do, I got Atlanta with Stefanski. Buffalo might be, out of all the teams that have crashed and burned out of the playoffs. Very interesting times for the Buffalo Bills, especially now knowing Bo Nix like broke his leg in overtime, whatever the hell it was. That is, I feel embarrassed for my Eagles. Looking at the path, I mean, Seattle, that might have been a tough one, right? But as an Eagle fan looking to repeat as Super Bowl champions, I think overall, looking at the field, both sides, easiest path to a Super Bowl if Philly had Kellen Moore still at offensive coordinator, right? I still think, though, Buffalo losing, they're the only team that it's more of a missed opportunity than Philly. Because Josh Allen, you had to go through Bo Nix, Patriots, whoever wins Patriot, Texans. Like, this is the year, man. There was no Lamar, there was no Mahomes, there was no Joe Burrow. And hopefully does not get it done here. The Green Bay Packers trying to make Madden 26 realistic rebuild history by winning our 3rd Super Bowl. Let's go do it. Expectations very high that Jordan Love will be able to get this one done. Maybe it's more just because the Bills are cursed and they can't have Super Bowl things. They can't do cool things in the playoffs. First touchdown goes to Green Bay. Low scoring game. We hold to a field goal. Turnover, Josh Allen. Why does he turn? He's so good. You look at his stats. His playoff stats are literally insane. I know all the talk's going to be about the turnovers and the turnovers he had IRL against the Denver Broncos. Josh Allen's playoff stat records are as good as any quarterback. And here we go. We can't hop in. We literally pretty much forced the win, willed the team to beat the Vikings. We got to get a front row seat here and see if they can do it. Jordan Love to Makai Lemon, 13 yards. Touchdown wins the game for us. Boom. Love it. Great drive. No run. Sometimes you see stupid runs. All right, 10-yard penalty. Don't love that, but we followed up. 27 yards, Jayden Reed. Timeout. It comes down to this. We got one play. Is there a way I can watch this play? I don't know. Yes! Yes! I figured it out. Final play. I said I'm going to figure out how to do this. He throws it. Fuck! Damned. Well, congratulations, Bills. You're probably going to be our next rebuild. Damn it. Now our Green Bay Packers rebuild is just tied with a couple other rebuilds that we've been able to get to. Terrific opportunity after winning that Super Bowl in year 2 to get 3 done. But still no shame in getting 2. It's been done before. Just Jordan Love couldn't find that little bit of extra magic there on the last throw. Well, with that being said, I think we very much had a successful Green Bay Packers realistic rebuild. So I hope you guys did enjoy. If it is your first time stopping by and you did, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. Helps the video get shared around and recommended a little bit more here on the YouTubes, which I very much appreciate. Looking at the remaining rebuilds we have left, I think now obviously Atlanta, bringing in Stefanski. That's a brand new scheme. That could be a pretty fun rebuild. That's on the short list. We have teams that are now no longer in the playoffs. We have the Buffalo Bills, need to get rebuilt. The Jacksonville Jaguars need to get rebuilt. We have the Chargers. Probably inevitable that we have the Denver Broncos. I actually think a kind of fun video. I don't know if I'm going to have enough time to get to it. It would be like looking at some of the top free agency quarterbacks and just throwing them on the Broncos and see if there's a combination that they can have that can win 2 games. They can win the championship. All due respect to Jared Stidham, right? But that might happen. But, Denver rebuild's probably coming sooner rather than later. We also have the 49ers are now, unfortunately, fuck the 49ers. Fuck the 49ers. You're a sorry-ass team. Plenty of options, but I'm going to say right now, in my opinion, and you guys can potentially persuade me, I'm thinking next 2 rebuilds that I'm going to be working on, Buffalo Bills and Stefanski Falcons, because I do want to try to keep pace a little bit. Like, if I can, stay ahead of the new head coaching hires, that's going to be cool, because that's always every time a new head coach gets hired, if I can just we literally have done everyone so far. Now it's the next newest head coach. That's a rebuild. If I can keep on that path, so it's not like I have 3 head coach new team rebuilds that I got to get to, that'd be pretty cool. So those are kind of the next 2 that I'm circling. Let me know if there's any other team you guys want to see me prioritize a little bit more. But I had an awesome rebuild here. I hope you guys did enjoy. And until next time, it's your boy C4 saying peace out, love ya. Have a good one.